Capote vs. the Swans is back this week with episode 4, and after an episode last week which was focused on the memorable black and white ball that took place, which was a brilliantly crafted episode, this one picked up in the time period that we're seeing the show set in, where the repercussions of what Truman wrote were still impacting the Swans and Truman's relationship. This episode gave a real intimate look inside the mind of Babe Paley and also Truman Capote, and it allowed us to see different sides to the characters throughout the 50-minute runtime. Albeit if some of this was actually fictitious and didn't actually occur. But for the purpose of entertainment, I think we can look past that. So with that, let's jump into this episode, break it down, and explain all that there was to take away from it. Here is FEUD Capote vs. the Swans episode 4 ending explained. Just to let you know, this video will contain spoilers. The ending explained. The ending of this episode was a collection of scenes that I thought were really well put together and perfectly written. The entire episode was one that was pretty much focused around forgiveness and it being a gift that one essentially gave themselves when forgiving another, rather than the other way round, as it meant that all of the pent-up emotions, anger, and impact that it had on an individual's life would essentially be removed, and the final scene pretty much focused on that with Babe. All throughout the episode, we saw that Babe Paley was on the opposing side to Slim and liked the idea of going to the remake of the black and white ball that Capote was planning on doing. This was most likely due to the fact that she knew that she was dying and that she didn't have that long left to live, and she realized that holding on to the grudge that she had before wasn't worth being consumed by, as being angry and holding grudges is something that you most probably don't want to take to the grave with you. In the final scene, we saw both Capote and Babe lying on a sofa, and it was almost made out like they were talking to one another, similar to how this scene was in the early parts of the season. However, there was a twist, and we saw that they were both on their own talking to therapists. Babe was speaking about how she'd come to terms with the fact that she knew that even though she'd gone through so many treatments, she'd accepted the fact that she didn't have that long left to live. But she felt as though she had work to do, and wanted to pick up connections that were now lost. This was her speaking about how herself and Truman's relationship fell apart and that she now wants to see him again. Following this, she then went on to describe a fictional scenario where she imagined a lunch in Paris where she bumped into somebody, where they then went on to walk together. She said his funny little walk, which was most definitely a description of Truman. Following this, it cut to both Babe and Truman actually meeting in the street in reality and them catching up with one another. No apology was actually said, which is something that I felt made this scene far more powerful, because you could just tell that the atmosphere between them was that of comfort, openness, and forgiveness. The words "I'm sorry" never needed to be spoken for it to be felt. The hug at the end was merely enough, showing that Babe had given herself that gift that she spoke of earlier on in the episode and forgave him. I do actually wonder whether or not this was real or not, or if this was something that was taking place inside of their minds. It's said that Babe never spoke to Truman again following what he wrote, so this is something that most definitely didn't happen. So with Babe being on the therapist's chair and closing her eyes, it does make me wonder if this is just a visual representation of what the both of them wanted to actually happen. However, for the purpose of the story, I feel it probably did happen. The final line that was said in the episode was, "He was the love of my life," showing the feelings that Babe did actually have for Truman, and the value that she actually put upon their friendship. To me, this also got across the weight of the betrayal that Truman did by publishing what he did, and the lack of regard to the value that he put on their friendship. Plus, it also showed the real reason why Babe wanted to reconnect with him. Their closeness was something which had been ingrained throughout the entirety of the season until the betrayal, so seeing it back for a brief moment was a nice touch. Other major details in the episode. There were a few other major things in the episode that stood out to me this week. One was the cycle that Capote was on for the most part of it. The cycle of being with John, getting drunk, getting sober, going back to John, and then getting drunk, all to repeat it again. We saw a real abusive side to John, and although Capote was a sly snake, seeing him being hit was something which was quite uncomfortable to watch, because you could really see the fear that was present when it would happen. The effect on the screen when Capote was drunk in the bathroom following being hit was one which really allowed us to understand how he was feeling in that specific moment, and the life that John was essentially draining from him. What this episode made me realize as well is that everybody is just there screwing each other over. For example, Capote betrayed Babe and the Swans. Slim is sticking up for Babe, but at the same time she's sleeping with Babe's husband Bill. There's just this chain of betrayal that's taking place. However, what was the most unexpected thing was that Babe knew the entire time that Bill was having an affair with her friend Slim. There was a moment where Babe said to Bill that she forgave him, and we saw the real effect of forgiveness being the gift taking place here. When Bill told Slim that Babe knew, Slim said how she didn't know how she was going to face seeing her, and Bill said how he didn't know how he was going to face not seeing her once she died. They were both just stunned, and they were the ones that were left feeling awful and terrible by the way that Babe just forgave them, showing that she felt fine and content with forgiving them and didn't see the point in being angry, and they didn't know how to respond to that. When it comes to Capote being a writer, the methods that he used and also the slyness of the way that he acts, there was a real insight into the way that this was formulated. When he was admitted to the Silver Hill facility, when the Swans came to visit him, we saw that he was gossiping about other patients' issues and how they would make great stories, something which tied into what he said last week to CZ when he said how his eyes and ears were constantly on record. This was something that he also mentioned to Kerry, where if she wanted to be a good writer, then she should take notes on everything. Notes on conversations and how talk is essentially where all the secrets live. The opening section of this episode was something that I thought was quite powerful to watch, and it tied into what we saw being spoken by Babe right at the end of the episode. At the end of it, she mentioned how every day she did her makeup, her hair, her jewels, but inside she was just laughing. This was how we essentially saw the opening scene taking place. It was Babe getting ready in the morning, all dressed up and looking glamorous, all to then arrive at the hospital and get changed into the hospital gowns and be treated for the illness that she had, the very thing that is slowly killing her. There was something in this scene, and I kind of took away from it that no matter how you live your life, you're gonna die, and there's no running away from death. Hence why Babe's journey of forgiving and reconnecting has become an important part of her life. Overall review. I thought this was a really good episode of the show. I enjoyed watching Truman's cycle of self-destruction, but by the end, reaching a point of soberness and actually looking like he was helping somebody with no ulterior motives. Something we've not seen in this season so far. Plus, I also enjoyed watching Naomi Watts as Babe. Babe's journey is something which I think is being depicted well on screen, and I'm feeling the emotions from her and the realization that she's not got long left. So the hunger and desire to take control of everything that she possibly can, whilst she can. Tom Hollander for me is just stealing the show every week. His performance is just so good, whether it be the more intimate moments or the complete outrageous flamboyancy that often jumps through the screen. There was a moment which really embodied childishness in this episode, and it was when he ran back to the bed and just laughed whilst John was in it. It made me burst out laughing because it felt so believable and in character. I don't think this was the best episode of the season. I think that goes to last week, which I know is going to be a controversial choice. But I think after that, this is definitely sitting in second place so far. It's a show that I wasn't 100% sure if I'd like before starting it, but it's one that I'm growing to enjoy. And with Ryan Murphy at the wheel, it's something that's often hard not to like. So, there you have it. FEUD Capote vs. the Swans Episode 4 Ending Explained. If you want to see more videos on FEUD Season 2, then click on the card in the top corner. I'm covering it every week, so be sure to come back every Thursday for breakdowns. And finally, if you'd like to see what I rate the latest movies that don't quite make the cut to getting a dedicated video, then head over to my Letterboxd profile. It's where I rate the latest releases in real time. What did you think of this episode? Leave a comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next time.